Alright everybody, we are back with Nightshade, You're the Drug or whatever. Okay, I'm ready to go. Fuck, I'm so hungry. I gotta stop waking up so late. With a slow yawn, Sasha headed down the sidewalk and looked for a place to grab something to eat. He passed by quite a few good restaurants, but none of them were exactly what he was craving. The craving itself was hard to pin down though. What do I even want to eat? Morning, sunshine. I gotta pick up for you. Okay, when? Today. Let's at the flower shop. Oh, is there a reason you can't do it, or it's 13 right now? 13 right now. Sure is. Get moving. What do I do with it? Sell it? You'll drop it off at Club Trinity later tonight. I'll be there. See you then. Okay. What a tool. So much for grabbing something to eat first. Sasha pocketed his phone and sighed deeply, his stomach rumbling. You could see the shop already. The sheer number of potted plants and hanging baskets of flowers clustered around the storefront were a dead giveaway. At least it smelled nice. Is that a purple sports car? In this part of town? Parked in front of a small inner-city flower shop with a sleek car that cost his easy $250,000. It stuck out like a sore thumb in the mostly vacant parking spaces in front of the building. Sasha glanced at the car as he walked by, though the windows were too tinted to see who was inside. He pushed open the door to the flower shop and it gave a soft jingle as he entered. Rows and rows of assorted plants lined the walls, filling the air with the fresh scent of countless flowers, so it probably smells like a funeral home then? Yuck. The fragrance was strong but overall quite nice, and Sasha breathed it in appreciatively. He paused at the entrance for a moment before approaching the cashier.
Hey there!
Oh shoot! I forgot them off the back. It should be... Sasha, hey! Hey, Siren. Working the double shift? Yep. Mamet says I can't work under 12 hours a day. I'm joking, but not really. I hear that. My balance is looking pretty sad right now. Yeah. Anyway, are you here to help me stock the shop, please? Nope, sorry, I'm just here picking up a shipment today. It would have been filled within the last hour or so, I think, under Alexi. Oh man, I could really use the help. I'll check the sheet to see if it's ready. If it's in the back, though, I'll have to wait. Is something wrong? I mean, someone from corporate is back there. Things are chaotic right now. Chaotic? It's a flower shop. How bad can it get? Oh, you don't know the half of it. Siren leaned over the counter a bit and motioned for Sasha to come closer. Curious, Sasha obliged. There was a break-in last night. Some real spooky shit. So they sent someone in to check on everything, I guess. Even worse, apparently a dead dealer was found in the alley, not far away from here. It's just crazy, Sasha. I've never seen it like this before. And don't even get me started on the old ladies coming in for their poppies. They're the worst of them all. The mention of a dead dealer made the back of Sasha's neck tingle. The dealer, were they one of ours? I don't think so, but I don't remember either. It was only one dealer, but still, be careful, Sasha. Abruptly, the door leading to the back room opened. Emerging from the stockroom was a tall-built man carrying a plum pad, and for someone sent from corporate, he was pretty casually dressed. Okay, that guy is definitely a bouncer. Flower shops don't have bouncers, though. Siren flashed Sasha a glance as if to alert of the approaching man. Oh, that was fast. All done back there then?
Yeah, everything looks good so far. May I see the book for the shop's shipments?
Oh yeah, 1 second. Let me find it. Okay, here you go. As if his life depended on how fast he could comply, Siren thrust out his arm and offered the man a white binder. I'm glad to see that baby's breath is selling well. Huh? Oh, I'm sorry, that's the wrong binder. Let me just... Quickly ducking down behind the counter, Siren searched frantically for the correct binder and popped back up a few seconds later. Okay, yeah. Purple binder for the inventory. Here you go. Selling flowers and drugs is hard to keep track of sometimes. Thanks. Oh, shipment. Sasha had a shipment. 1 second. Sasha, sorry. Let me go get that. For the end of his sentence, Siren had already vaulted over the counter and briskly headed into the back. Once Siren had slipped away, the room was filled with silence. The only sounds in the room now were the quiet taps of the man typing on his tablet as he compared the notes in the binder to his own. Sasha finally broke the silence. Flowers. Serious business, I see. The man looked up from his tablet. My boss would argue it is. If a single petal in the shop ends up damaged, or be held to pay for it. Wait, are we really talking about the flowers right now or something else? Oh, your boss sounds kinda... Sasha's thoughts were cut off by the incessant honking from the vehicle outside the shop. Ah, it's my cue. Well, I hope you have a good day. Take care. With that, the man closed the binder and turned to leave. The bell on the door chiming faintly as he pushed through and left the store. Sasha peered out the window, watching the man get to the driver's side of the purple car. Man, I wish I had money. Okay, whew, sorry that took so long. For some reason, I had to dig to find this one. Anyway, here you go. Oh, did Vadim live? That guy's from corporate? Yeah, didn't get to say goodbye? Oh well. With a shrug, Siren held out a rectangular purple box wrapped in a lavender ribbon. A small white logo was printed on the lid. Anyway, here's your shipment. And remember what I said, yeah? About being careful? Sasha picked up the ornate box, lifting and rotating it as he examined the packaging. This looks more like a cake box. Good. And you could tell people it's just cake. See ya, Sasha. Sasha gave a light chuckle, having no complaints about the inconspicuous shipment.
Yeah.
Later. I'm gonna use a cough drop. After his goodbyes, he pushed against the door and left. The sun overhead was intense, and Sasha squinted against the glare, lifting a hand to his forehead to shield his eyes. With his other hand cradling the box under his arm, he walked towards the nearest bus stop. Sasha took a seat at the empty bus stop, thankful for the shade to the top of the bench provided. He set the box in his lap and stared at it. And the other night, they found a dead dealer in the alley. The longer he stared at the box, the tenser his brows became. You'll drop it off at the Club Trinity later tonight, and I'll be there. Sasha didn't notice his thumb starting to fray the cardboard tab of the box as he got lost in his thoughts. Be careful, Sasha. He fished his phone out of his jacket and sighed as he swiped through his contacts, his stomach rumbling loudly. Pulling out Mishka's chat box, he typed a quick message. Hey, you hungry? Want to meet up for food? Hey, meet me at Trinity later night. Since Mishka had that breakdown, I'm gonna ask him if he wants to meet up for food right now. Now when I'm getting involved with my business. The sound of labored breathing accompanied by steady impact of shoes on concrete while Mishka jogged down the street. A single earbud beeped to inform him of a new message. About time, you message. It's almost been a day. He slowed to stop near the corner of the street, one hand pulling out his phone while the other wiped his forehead. Mishka glanced at the message and dropped his shoulders as he read. Guess he's not upset anymore. He briefly glanced over his shoulder before eyeing the message again. I guess I'll go. I'm kinda hungry anyway. Responding with a simple yeah, East Market 1 hour, he pocketed the phone. He had an hour to jog home, shower, get changed, and commute to the east side. That was totally possible, right? With a quick shrug and grin, Mishka started jogging again. The fuck? Mishka, you're being followed. The narrow aisles of the outdoor market were lined with kiosks and food stands almost as far as the eye could see. Crowds of people swarmed around the various booths and wove between each other as they walked down the bustling street. It was an easy place to blend into, and an easy place to get lost within. Mishka stood near an egg waffle booth while he waited for Sasha to arrive. Be too much longer, right? With a quick glance down at his phone screen, he sighed. Finally, Sasha sauntered up behind his taller friend and gently slapped Mishka's arm in greeting. Ah, you're late. Wait, did
I scare you?
Okay. Haha, very funny. Glad you made it. Yeah, I'm really hungry. Come on, let's get going. He's clearly feeling better. Aww. The various scents of hot, savory, fried, and boiled foods filled the air. The aroma was almost a form of torture to Sasha, who still hadn't eaten yet today. There's so many choices here, it's hard to pick. It all smells pretty good, honestly. Well, whatever you pick, I'll pay. Mishka arched an eyebrow and stared intently at his friend. Sure about that? Jeez, Mishka, just pick. Sasha waved his hand dismissively and started down the tapered street, Mishka following after him, taking in all the food options they had in front of them. I want hot soup, I want spicy seafood, pad thai, I want fish balls, egg waffles, and boba. Let's get fish balls, egg waffles, and boba. Okay, is there anything else in the market that you don't want, Mishka?
Well...
Then I'm a grown man, I need calories. Yeah, okay, sure. Getting the pad thai. Sasha laughed softly and shook his head while he searched his jacket for his card. When he found it, he held it out to the vendor to be swiped. Question. Mishka slid his hands into his front pockets and turned his attention to Sasha. I have to meet up with my boss later tonight at Club Trinity, and I don't want to go alone, so... It's always when he needs something from me, isn't it? So I was wondering if you'd come with me? Sasha didn't look at Mishka when he asked, not at first. His fingers slowly pulled the zipper up and down his jacket. Mishka's response was almost automatic, but the light briefly left his eyes. Are you asking me to go dancing with you? Why are you like this? Mishka laughed at his friend. Of course I'll come. We can bail after the drop, go hang out after or something. Just then their food was finished, and Sasha reached for the steaming bowls eagerly, practically drooling when he saw the glistening rice noodles. Grab some napkins and forks, and I'll find us somewhere to sit. Anything else for you, Majesty? Sasha disregarded the comment and chose one of those many small iron tables squeezed between stalls to sit at. Mishka stopped for a moment, looking behind himself and into the crowd, fixated on something. Hey, come on, I want to eat. With what was way more napkins than they needed, Mishka walked over and set the stack on the table as he sat down. Are you serious? You asked for napkins, and I aim to please. Sasha laughed as he draped his jacket over the back of his chair and set the box from the flower shop on the table next to them. Upon seeing the ornate packaging, Mishka's brows grew tense. Pink eyes scrutinized the logo stamped on the front. Where did you get that box? Sasha followed Mishka's eyes while he hunched over his food and stuffed his mouth with noodles he slurped before speaking. Oh, this? It's my shipment. I know it looks like a cake box. Have your shipments always look like that? Nah, this one's new. My guess is they don't want it to look suspicious. It spreads through the city faster that way. Remember those tablets I was packaging in my room the other night? That's what this is. The NS. Sasha wiped his mouth before picking up the box and looking at it once more. Do you know what NS stands for? It stands for not sure. Well, no it doesn't, but I mean it may as well. I don't know anything about it other than it hits fast and it's potent. Sasha shrugged before setting it back down. I'm not selling this batch, but I wouldn't be surprised if they added it to my normal rotation soon. The sooner he gets rid of that box, the better. Mishka, what's up? You're making a face. Huh? Oh, nothing, I'm fine. Okay. It didn't take too long for them to finish, especially at this rate. Sasha was scarfing down his food. Mishka glanced over his shoulder briefly. Now for dessert. Oh yeah? And what would that be? I haven't decided yet, but I'll know it when I see it. I feel it in my bones. I could somehow totally believe that your bones can sense dessert. That's definitely on brand for you. Don't forget your box. Yeah, no, forgetting that would be the end of me, probably. He grabbed the box and carefully tucked it under his arm. The two of them stood from the little table, tossed their trash, and continued down the busy street. As dusk approached, all the lights of the market turned on and illuminated their path. Overhanging lanterns and signs flickered to life, giving the East Market a whole new atmosphere. There it is, up ahead. The gods of fried food have spoken and my bones are answering. Sasha led them to a crepe stand where several classic and unique flavors of crepe were displayed. Fruity, savory, decorated, simple, you could have it all. But the real question is, what flavor? You're probably gonna get strawberry, huh? Sasha glanced back at Mishka, who was looking off to who knows where. What are you looking at? Mishka shook his head and turned, giving his undivided attention back to Sasha. Oh, nothing. Why is he being weird? It's getting late. We should probably start heading toward the club. The sooner we drop the box off, the sooner we can leave. But my crepe. Get your crepe and eat it on the way. I don't know what flavor I want. God, I love him. Ooh. Dusk had faded into night and the city's neon glow illuminated with the streets with various colors. A massive line had formed outside of Club Trinity, winding around the front of the building and continuing down the sidewalk. Loud music spilled from the doors every time they opened to let in the next group of people. As Sasha and Mishka approached, Mishka whistled gently. Dang, it's really busy tonight. I could see that. I didn't think anything special was happening tonight, though. Looks like it's going to be packed in there. Hey, said you'd come. Don't back out now. Yeah, well, the sooner we get in there, the sooner we can leave, right? Then it's video games and pizza at your place. Honestly, that sounds 1,000 times better than doing this delivery. Exactly. Where do you have to meet your boss anyway? Probably the VIP room. He wouldn't feel important enough anywhere else. Mishka huffed and rolled his eyes, digging into his pocket to look for his C card as they moved up in line. I like clubbing. I just don't want to be here for work. I get that. How can I get you to relax and enjoy it when you're worried about work? Sasha nodded and stepped up to the bouncer at the entrance now that it was their turn. He brandished his C-card and, with a quick scan and a beep, headed towards the doors. Mishka stepped forward to do the same, but stopped when he noticed something. Hey, I need your card. Ignoring the man's tone, Mishka stared intently toward the rooftops above them, his brows deeply furrowed. Hey, you want in or what? Mishka, come on, stop stargazing or whatever you're doing, you weirdo. I want to get this over with. Mishka looked away and exhaled sharply, handing over his C-card to be scanned. He pocketed it a moment later, and after a final lingering look over his shoulder, joined Sasha where he stood by at the clubs. Are you sure you're okay? Yeah.
Okay.
Good, I need a drink. Together they entered the club and were met by a pulsating, all-encompassing bass that shook the very foundation of the building. A cold wind blew up between the buildings. I knew he was following them. The vibration from the speakers rumbled into Sasha's chest so powerfully he could feel it in his fingertips. The pounding rhythm of the music and strobing neon lights engulfed him, sucking him into the club's atmosphere. The two pushed through the crowd, weaving tightly between people. Mishka stayed close behind Sasha, who seemed determined to get to the bar. Once they were there, Sasha slid into a high stool and propped his elbow on the countertop. Mishka stood next to him, easing close to Sasha's ear so his friend could hear him. You really need a drink to get through this? Sasha swatted at his friend playfully, making sure that he still had his arm secure on the small purple box. Just a drink. I want to loosen up a bit before heading over there. Where's the VIP room anyway? The guys scanned the dancing crowd and swept over the back of the room, trying to spot any roped off areas. Mishka looked back down at Sasha. In the back, somewhere over there, I think. Half leaning out of his stool and onto the counter, Sasha raised his voice to order his fruity drink. The bartender gave a nod and started mixing. Sasha grabbed a nearby napkin and started shredding it absent-mindedly. You want a drink? No, I'm good. Okay, that's weird. You drink more than I do. Are you still upset? No, really, I'm good. Just want to stay on my toes tonight. Sasha shrugged and wrapped nimble fingers around the glass that had been set in front of him. He smiled at the bartender and stuck in a tiny straw into the drink. He stirred the ice for a few seconds before taking a slow sip. Mishka watched his friend for a moment, his brow lifting curiously. Sasha, are you stalling? What? No, I'm not. Okay, yeah, you are. I just don't want to go back there. The shredded remains of Sasha's napkin sat in a neat pile next to his drink, leaving him to play with the straw. Look, the sooner you do this... I know, the sooner I can be done with it. I get it. Alexei can wait for a little while. It's fine. You want to try this? Sasha. Mishka draped an arm around Sasha's shoulders and sighed. He reached for the drink in his friend's hands and took a sip. It's not that bad. Now come on, you can do this, right? It is that bad. Alexei sucks. With a groan, Sasha stood up and leaned into Mishka's one-armed embrace. He finished the rest of his drink in one swift motion and set the empty cup on the counter behind them. As they pushed their way through the dance floor, it became apparent just how packed the club really was. Sasha squeezed past a few people, with Mishka following close behind. The door before them was bright red in a stark contrast against the darkness of the club walls. A broad-shouldered man stood at the threshold with his arms crossed. Sasha moved closer, sheepishly scratching the side of his nose. Hey, Richard, was it? I'm here to see Alexei. Mishka glanced behind them once they had reached the door, scanning the faces in the crowd. What's the phrase? Oh shit, what was it? The bouncer eyed Sasha a little skeptically, then looked over at Mishka, who merely shrugged in response. I'm with him. Oh, it's Alone the Wolf Dies Out. Cringe, but okay. When the bouncer gave an affirming nod, he stepped to the side and opened the door. Sasha and Mishka walked inside, the purple box still cradled under Sasha's arm. About time. There he is, the man of the hour. Did you have trouble finding the room? Not really. And I guess you have another reason for taking so damn long? A wave of snickers erupted from the people arranged around Alexei, none of whose names he could recall off the top of his head. Alexei, who was reclining comfortably on a couch in the middle of the room, slipped a finger into his mouth and rubbed at his front teeth. The man clapped his hands together and smiled wildly at Sasha. I see you brought an unexpected friend. Who's he? He nodded towards Mishka. He stood quietly behind Sasha's left side. He's with me. Don't worry about him. Right. Well, did you bring the supply or did you forget? As if I'd come up here just to hang out with you otherwise. I picked it up this afternoon. You know, when you texted me? Alexei chuckled and held out his hand expectantly. Sasha handed the box over and watched as his boss set it on the little coffee table in front of him. The folding lock was open and Alexei peered inside.
There it is, boys.
His smile growing smugger by the second, Alexei reached inside the box and pulled out a small cellophane bag. Sealed inside the bag were a few pastel tablets. So, are we good? Is that all you wanted? You'll leave when I tell you to leave. Well, I sold the last of my supply to some jerk at the tower, so I will be getting more. You're going to be selling a whole lot more, don't you worry about that. Not worried. Well, good job. Job security, hard to come by these days. He smiled at Sasha a few seconds longer than was comfortable. After returning the baggie back inside the box, Alexei turned towards the man guarding the door and beckoned him over. Here, take this to the warehouse off Kempa. Get it there by tonight. Warehouse? Are they just going to store it? I can make 3 months' rent of that supply. Well, you got the shipment, so... Chill the fuck out, Sasha. Mishka stepped a little closer. Dude, I just want to go home. This is supposed to be my day off. Sasha could feel his blood pressure rising. Either that or the alcohol was kicking in. Feeling a little cheeky today, huh? Fine, go. But Sasha, what? I'll have another shipment for you by next week. I'll text you when it's ready. It'll be double the amount this time. Make sure you sell it all. I know how to do my job. Alexei waved his hand dismissively and focused his attention back on his phone.
Come on.
Sasha, come on, let's go. Alexei thumbed through the contacts in his phone and lifted the device to his ear. Secured the package, and one more thing. Mishka is here. Mishka's gaze swept across the crowd again. He craned his head to look up at the ceiling briefly. Sasha leaned towards Mishka, his hands deep in his jacket pockets, nudging his friend to get his attention. What are you looking at? Nothing. See? The meeting wasn't so bad, right? Sasha scoffed. Anyway, can we go now? My mood is tanking by the minute. I think maybe we should stay a while, you know? We came all this way.
Seriously?
Oh, what? You said we could leave after the drop. You want to stay? Mishka smirked softly and reached forward to wrap his arm around his friend's middle. Oh. He pulled Sasha close and started backing up onto the dance floor. He leaned near his ear to speak. Sasha groaned in response and resisted his friend's pull. I changed my mind. I want to dance with you. Bullshit, you're just killing time so I don't have any energy to beat your ass in Dragon Lad. Fine, if you caught me, dance with me anyway. Mishka swayed into the crowd and brought Sasha with him. Sasha wanted to stay mad but couldn't help smiling. He rolled his eyes and pushed at his friend's chest a bit, putting some space between them. Okay, first. Okay, fine, but I need another drink first. The meeting was awful. Alright, go get yourself a drink. Mishka watched his friend disappear into the throngs of people as he headed to the bar. Once Sasha was a good distance away, Mishka made for the bathroom, then quickly shut himself inside a stall. He pulled out his phone and pressed his free hand to his ear to shut out the rest of the muffled noise of the club. Dima, did you get my text? Did you get someone to sweep the area out here? He leaned against the metal of the stall and bowed his head, focusing on the voice on the other end. Yeah, I saw him. I don't know if he was tailing me or just in the area, but I saw him. There was a long pause. How long is that gonna take? Yeah, okay, thanks. Gotta go by. After shoving his phone back into his pocket, Mishka pulled the stall door open and returned to the dance floor. It didn't take long for him to spot Sasha dancing. Hey, did you get the same drink? Where did you go? I thought you bailed on me for a second. Bathroom. What drink did you get? Without asking, Mishka took the glass from Sasha's hand and sipped at it. He smirked down at his friend and held it a little above Sasha's head. Poison. How's it taste? Tart. It's a fruit bomb, they called it. Sasha chuckled and grabbed the drink back. He took a long swig and started to sway, feeling the music course through him. Mishka mirrored his friend, his head bouncing gently while they started to dance. He pushed himself close to Sasha, which wasn't difficult given how little room they had on the crowded dance floor. His drink in hand, Sasha rocked close to his tall friend. They got lost in the ebb and flow of the music, their bodies moving easily to the beat. A floaty feeling crept into Sasha's head, making him feel giddy and light. Well, are you feeling better yet? Sasha gave Mishka a side eye, his smile widened. The drink helps, and I love this song. Taking the last swallow of his drink, Sasha set the empty glass down on a nearby surface and returned his attention to dancing. When Mishka bent close, a tinge of heat prickled at Sasha's neck. He felt his cheeks flush. Your face is red. The breath against Sasha's ear was hot and enticing, sending a wave of warmth down his arms. But before Mishka could entertain the thought of ghosting his lips over his ear, Sasha danced a few steps back. With their eyes locked on each other, Sasha's flirtatious smile signaled the start of a game both were familiar with. Keeping his movements in rhythm with the music, Sasha hooked his fingers into Mishka's belt loops. He pulled his friend closer with ease, and Mishka was more than happy to oblige. Sasha angled his head upward and pressed his lips fleetingly to Mishka's jaw. Call the night, take Mishka to a... We're gonna... take him to a secluded spot. Sasha's fingers crept up Mishka's side and glided over his skin through the fabric. Let's find somewhere less crowded. Mishka kept his eyes trained on Sasha, his faint smile widening. This place is packed. Then let's find somewhere that's not packed. The street was quiet in comparison to the loud, hot room the pair just stepped out of. The night air that cut between the buildings felt cool against Sasha's skin. Mishka looked up towards the tops of the nearby buildings as soon as they were outside. He glanced over his shoulder and then he peered at Sasha. You alright? Everything hurts. Did you call a taxi? Sasha's voice was just above a mumble, his ears still ringing from the music, and he was feeling lightheaded. You already asked me that. I said yes. Oh. Sasha closed his eyes and laughed before he bundled up tighter in his jacket. Mishka smiled as his disoriented friend and wrapped an arm around him, making sure he wouldn't trip over his own feet. We'll have no trouble getting to sleep tonight. Yeah. The ride chair pulled up to the curb where a tired Sasha was propped against his friend. Here we go. Ooh, luxurious. Mishka pulled the car door open and held it out for Sasha, who easily slipped inside. Once Sasha was in, Mishka looked back up at the rooftops. The leather upholstery of the back seat was pleasantly cool, and he immediately pressed his heated cheek up against it. Mishka leaned inside the car and reached to offer his C-card to the driver. Just charge twice the normal rate and make sure he gets home safe. Sasha's brow furrowed and his head quickly swiveled towards Mishka. Wait, you're not coming with me? Mishka smiled at him. Nah, something came up. Sasha squinted at his friend.
Are you kidding me?
That's stupid. Yep, but I gotta deal with it. The driver handed Mishka's card back to him. Mishka slipped it back into his pocket and leaned out the door for a moment. Don't give me that face. I'm gonna. The pout he wore didn't last long and slowly eased with a smile. I'll text you when I'm done. Sasha felt more appeased when Mishka reiterated the plans. He nodded. Fine, go do stupid stuff. Mishka chuckled and waved to Sasha before closing the car door. He watched the car pull away and head down the street. His smile slipped away as he turned to walk in the other direction. Pulled out of a deep sleep, Sasha groaned into consciousness, lifting his head from the pillow. He squinted over at his phone where it sat on the TV stand. Are you serious? It's so far. He flopped his head back down onto the cool pillow and shut his eyes.
Seriously?
Fucking Christ. Propping himself up on one elbow, he glanced back over at his phone. Its screen shone like a beacon in the dark room. What time is it even? He'll answer. Not even bothering to check the caller ID, Sasha begrudgingly grabbed his phone and pressed it to his ear. What? Labored breathing echoed over the line. Sasha's brows tensed, his lips pressing tight. Is this a fucking joke? Who is this? Gauze, thread, needle, peroxide. Get in on the red line. Take it 3 steps. Sasha's breath hitched in his throat. What? He felt his blood run cold at the sound of a familiar voice, and his heart dropped into his stomach. His entire body froze, unable to move. I'm in the alley, 53rd and 4th intersection behind the blue dumpster. What happened? Go get everything. Take a deep breath. Sasha shook himself out of his daze and launched himself out of bed, hurrying toward the bathroom. He tucked the phone between his ear and shoulder so he could free up his hands. I'm leaving now. I'm on my way. Damn it. Where's my first aid kit? The clatter of the items falling over in the small bathroom made Mishka chuckle softly on the other end. Don't drop anything, jeez. Sasha couldn't laugh, not at a time like this. His hands shook as he assembled everything and shoved it in a plastic bag. His heartbeat thundered in his ears. Okay, I'm coming. Hang on, I'm coming. He raced to the door, grabbed his jacket and keys, and left as fast as he could. Mishka's ragged breath was the only sound between them, and Sasha bolted to the subway station. It was the longest train ride of Sasha's life. His body felt numb, even as he jogged till Mishka told him to go. 53rd and 4th, 53rd and 4th, 53rd. The plastic bag crinkled in his jacket as he ran. But he paid it no mind. At this point, all discretion has been tossed out the window. The alley was dark and damp. In any other situation, he would have avoided it completely, but now he bolted right in. Hey, I'm here. Where are you? Sasha whipped his head around, searching for his friend. There was no response. Mishka, where are you? Shh, over here. Sasha jumped before he turned toward the source of the voice.
Are you kidding me?
Seated beside the dumpster with one leg stretched out and the other one pulled up to his chest with a hooded Mishka. He held the side tightly with both hands and could hardly lift his head to look at Sasha. Sasha rushed over and dropped down beside him, eyes wide. He started to untie the plastic bag with shaking hands. Mishka, what the fuck? Where are you injured? What happened? Mishka shook his head and feebly reached up and grabbed his mask. He pulled it down off his mouth with a groan. With his hands no longer covered his side, the dark red liquid seeping through his shirt became visible. Sasha's stomach flipped at the sight. Mishka, no time. Get the peroxide. Did you bring the sewing kit? Taking the edge off of his shirt in hand, Mishka peeled the wet cloth off his skin. With a pain hissed. A sudden stream of blood poured from a gaping wound just below his ribcage. It ran down his skin and pooled underneath him, staining the asphalt. Sasha's heartbeat began to pulse in his ears. His head felt light, dizzy even. All thought left his mind. He couldn't look away from the stab wound. Sasha, do you know how to sew?
Sasha!
No. Then thread the needle at least, please. Sasha nodded and rummaged through the bag until he found the needle and thread. His hands wouldn't stop shaking while he tried to push the thin string through the metal loop. I can't do it. Mishka winced and balled up his shirt, pressing it firmly against his wound. His brows were tense and he glanced at Sasha. Why not call an ambulance? Keep your voice down, I don't. Sasha could feel his eyes welling up, his throat tightened painfully. Attempting to clear his vision, he wiped at his eyes with his sleeve. It's alright, just take a deep breath. Mishka's voice sounded further and further away. Sasha choked back the sob that threatened to jump out from his throat. It hurt to hold in. I can't do it. Mishka did his best to lean away from the dumpster and lifted his hands to rest over Sasha's. Although bloody, they were surprisingly not shaking. Deep breath, just one thread, steady your hands. With Mishka's grip stabilizing his own, Sasha was finally able to push the thread through. A small wave of relief hit him. Got it here, Mishka grimaced when he poured the peroxide over the wound, flashing gritted teeth. Don't look. He took the needle from Sasha and began to sew the wound closed. Sasha looked away, feeling sick to his stomach. He peered up at the fire escape above, then over to the window with the flickering neon sign, then back down at the puddles scattered on the ground around them. Suddenly, Sasha caught a glimpse of something reflected in one of the puddles. His head shot up. At the mouth of the alley stood a dark silhouette, its long shadow stretching out towards them. Sasha's heart skipped a beat, his eyes wide. Mishka. Mishka tied off the thread and looked up, turning his head in the direction his friend was staring. Fuck. Sasha, help me up now. Sasha stared at the figure ahead of them, who was now approaching in a slow walk. Sasha, now. As if shaken from a trance, Sasha shook his head and scrambled to help his taller friend stand up. The two more silhouettes joined the first, all three drawing closer by the second. Run, Sasha, go. And leave you? Stop playing around and come on, please. There was no time. Using whatever adrenaline was left, Mishka pushed off the pavement and started running, Sasha close at his side. Each step hurt more than the last. His body screamed at him to stop. They rounded the corner of the alley, small drops of blood splattering in Mishka's wake. The pair stopped in their tracks when they saw the large brick wall ahead of them. It was a dead end. Oh. Ragged breaths were getting faster. Mishka's gaze darted upward and he pointed at the fire escape above them. We can climb it. If we just have to pull down the ladder, can you reach it? Mishka grimaced and grabbed at his side, hunched over. The pain was agonizing. I don't know. Sasha turned back toward the ladder and jumped from the lowest rung. He couldn't reach it. Fuck, Sasha, they're coming. Sasha jumped again, every muscle in his body stressed to its limits. His arms swiped desperately for the ladder. The approaching figures brandished their knives while their footsteps grew louder. Fuck it. Without hesitation, Mishka gripped Sasha around the middle and lifted him the best he could. He cried out in agonizing expression, twisting his face. He clenched his jaw and continued to push Sasha up towards the ladder. He could feel the thread of the stitches begin to rip. Sasha wobbled a little and stretched out his arms and reached for the lowest rung. With his fingers wrapped around the cold metal, he gasped. I got it. Mishka backed off and gave a faint smile. Good. Now pull. Pull hard. Sasha gave the ladder a sharp tug. Nothing happened. Sasha's breath sped up, panicking, coursing through him when he realized the ladder was stuck. No, please. Mishka spun around, wincing in pain at the sudden movement, his eyes fixed on the three silhouettes closing in on them. They were surrounded. Climb it, Sasha, go. Sasha shook his head and choked, sob forcing it way out.
Please.
Not without you. How can this be happening? I can't believe this is the first. A silence stepped out the shadows and it come to a dim neon glow of the alley, his gold eyes gleaming.
Pathetic.
You are an annoying cockroach, Mishka, and I'm sure you know that. Without warning, Ada leaped forward with both knives in hand. Mishka darted backward and raised his arms to cover his chest and head. Ada's blade slashed with blinding speed, cutting deep into Mishka's forearms. Mishka. Sasha held tight onto the metal rung, unable to pull himself up any further, unable to let himself drop either. The second attacker's fingers wrapped around Sasha's ankles and yanked him ruthlessly off the ladder. He hit the ground hard, a sharp pain shot through his leg on impact, and the air was knocked out of his chest. The third figure charged towards him. Blow after blow rained down on him and thrashed his entire body. It was excruciating. The bitter metallic taste of blood filled his mouth and spilled from his lips. Something heavy hit Sasha on the back of the head so hard his vision blurred. Not even the adrenaline coursing through him could block out the intense pain. I'm gonna die.
That's enough.
That's enough. We got what we came for. Distantly, he could hear Mishka desperately screaming his name. A loud ringing echoed in his ears, and the world around him seemed to slow. This can't be happening. Sasha turned his head to the right, forcing his aching eyes to open as best they could, looking for Mishka. Mishka.
Sasha!
At the sight of the two men dragging a fighting Mishka towards a car at the mouth of the alley was incomprehensible to Sasha. Sasha's entire body refused to move. He weakly tried to turn over, attempting to crawl after his friend, but nothing happened. His body wouldn't respond. The car door slammed shut and the sound of a muffled and distant Sasha whimpered hopelessness, sinking into the vehicle, pulled away and drove off. His fingers twitched, scraping against the pavement. He still couldn't move. All he could do was lay there helpless. I can't hold on. Sasha's vision began to narrow, darkness closing in. What if I don't wake up, Mishka? Amor, he sent the distress call, but he's not here. A deep voice filled the alley. Someone was coming. No, there's someone else here. He's beaten up pretty bad. Tell Indigo to send the medic team. I'm bringing him in. The pain became distant and Sasha's consciousness slipped away.
Can you hear me?
Ooh, guys, that was tense. I'm gonna cut it right there, guys. Thanks for listening.